sisters!
Hi, sisters!
Oh, it's hi, sisters. We're in, I'm trying to make a new intro, man. Something just original. It's coming in. So we're in the Sacramento airport right now. We got here early, we got a late flight, got a red eye, and having an IPA, man. You know why I like Shawley? Because he's the only other YouTuber that appreciates IPA.
Drink it in.
But I digress. We're grabbing some food and gonna take a fucking sleepy flight home. Awesome weekend in Sacramento. Hopefully you saw those videos. They're on my channel now. Check them out. Check out Mark Bell's channels. We did 2 podcasts, a billion. We just shot all weekend. It was awesome. So I am exhausted. I'm beat to shit. It was productive, man. It was a very, very cool trip. So gonna head on home, get back to the daily grind. But first, you know, about to board the red eye.
It wasn't as funny, man.
And I ran into the tallest subscriber I've run into in a very long way. How tall are you?
Man, I'm 6'6".
Me too.
What?
Yeah, just you too.
Me too.
He's eye level, basically.
Dude, I felt like I was craning my neck talking.
I haven't stood up
But
next to
we invited him to sit down with us. Super cool guy. Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Ryan Cutzilla.
Hell yeah. And I gotta tell you, man, you came at an opportune time too because exhausted ass weekend. I was looking at comments from like our live stream, and you get good with the bad, obviously. And I was just sitting there getting frustrated. I was getting frustrated at the negative comments a little bit because I was just tired of shit. Like,
Yeah.
And then you know, I ran into you, and it's like it was a good way to like snap out of that and appreciate like the support that does come along with the positive and the negative.
Absolutely.
Like I said, talking to this dude, super cool guy.
Man, I appreciate you, man. This guy is the shit. It's been in the game forever. You guys already know, but like, it's exciting, man. It's exciting. This trip has been unbelievable.
Hell yeah. What's you said you started a YouTube channel?
Yeah. Just started a YouTube channel. It's Cutzilla Fitness.
Okay.
I only have a couple videos up right now, but check it out. We're gonna go crazy when I get back to Cleveland.
I like this guy too. Good deep conversation. 10 minutes in a know him. I love it. It's cool. So check his channel out.
Yeah, and thank you to Nick, man. I honestly didn't think this guy would talk to me, but you know what? This guy has like a huge heart, bro, and like really like cares about you guys. So I appreciate it, man.
And that is from the tallest subscriber I've ran into all month.
Yeah.
The edema's kicked in. It's hard to see in the camera really, but like this left side is slightly more bloated than the right. You can see like all my vascularity is gone. Calf check. Look at the calves. Look at the veins. Pretty good for a fat boy. Ankles are kind of like bulging out of the socks right now. Super uncomfortable. My legs feel like they weigh 1,000 pounds. But we're in Detroit, and it's like 6:15 a.m. So we're gonna hop from Detroit over to Providence, get home by like 9. Coming home after traveling is really fun because everything's a mess from unpacking. You're playing catch up with work stuff, so to-do lists are a thing. And you're exhausted as shit from the time change and the red eye you just took, so you eat dinner and leave the mess for the following day. In between unpacking and trying to make dinner, well, you're just left with a big old mess. Especially when this damn outlet trips on you and it needs to be replaced, so now your microwave is over here in the corner until you get a new one. But that's why on the 7th day, God did not rest. He made coffee. So we're gonna have coffee and tackle all of this in reverse order. Almost 2 p.m. and to-do list done. House is much cleaner now. We have a wild Ariana outside. Look at all that fruity goodness, man. Picked up some post-workout goods. We got the meat. We have fruit, raspberries, strawberries. Nothing's better than black raspberries. Blueberries for oatmeal. Even got some organic farm-grown peaches. These are from my aunt's farm. Ooh, delicious. Totally random out of the blue fun fact side rant. One of my biggest pet peeves, and I'm curious if you guys feel the same way at all, and if you guys deal with this. One of my biggest pet peeves as a powerlifter is when loved ones, they come from a position of love, they mean well, they're looking out for you, so they don't mean to be annoying, but when loved ones just constantly throw negativity at your lifting accidentally, what I mean is you'll post a video of some huge milestone PR you've been working at for years and years and years and that you're proud of. And most people, they say it, they're like, hell yeah, congrats, good work, good lift. When it comes to like extended family, relatives, the first thing they see is they watch and they go, ooh, my back, that hurt just watching that. Don't you worry about injuring yourself. Ooh, don't get injured. Are you gonna go any heavier than that? And it's like, dude, I know you guys mean well, but could we at least lead with congratulations, good job first, and then get to the negative stuff? Is it just me? I feel like that stuff's so negative, and I know it's accidental, so you can't even get mad at them because they mean well. They don't understand. It's not their world. But it's like you don't go and tell like a football player to like, oh, be careful, don't get too bumped around out there before he hits the field, or a boxer not to get punched before he goes out in the ring. It's a sport. They all involve calculated risk. I hate that. I hate when adults try telling me too, like, trust me, dude, this heavy lifting is gonna catch up to you. I'm 50, blah, blah, blah. When you get to my age, your joints, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm aware. I've never been arrogant. I've never had a Superman complex. I'm aware I'm human. Try to be as smart as I can. It's a calculated risk. They come with all sports. I just hate that. It's so negative. Like, I'm well aware 3 times my body weight on my back can be risky. I don't need to hear it from you. I'm the one doing it. Anybody agree, or is that just me? Rant's over.
That's crazy.
Like, I just wasn't, I was itching, like, I want to be bigger, but it's been, yep, I love it there.
Really?
Honestly, you know what's the best part about it? Is people are nice. I did marinate the chicken.
If I went and did another prep, I would just dive all the way in hardcore instead of doing like the easing in thing.
That's why, like, all my meals are like cream rice, chicken, egg whites. That's it. Simple. Do you need a napkin in my car? Because we're not going to Nick's, so I just want to make sure that you're not messing.
So Panero, what do you? We linked up with the long lost Panero who moved out of state.
Oh my god.
And he's visiting for a little bit, and we're hitting up the beach today. But he is on day 2 of prep.
Day 2 of prep. So we're doing Eastern USA's, which is November 9th. Depending on how that goes, we're shooting for nationals November 22nd, I think.
Oh shit!
But we're gonna book the ticket before we actually know.
Hell yeah!
Because just gotta make sure.
You gotta commit.
You just gotta commit.
So how many weeks out are you from show number 1?
12. And then 14.
Woo! It's gonna be good.
We're already starting. Already. The plain chicken and rice.
I love it, man.
So,
I love it.
It's a good feel, man. I'm excited. I
gotta say, like, having done this show recently, it's had me like re-amped for bodybuilding now. So now I'm like extra excited and like mentally invested into this. Whereas beforehand, like before I did the show, back when I was like jaded about bodybuilding, I would have been like, this idiot's doing a show.
Well, I knew I could call you and you would understand, like, hey dude, we're going to the beach, but I can't drink.
Yeah, okay. No, I'm all for it, man. I love it. I love it. What's your Instagram, Nick?
Nick Panero 92.
So everyone go on his Instagram and comment whether you want him to document or not. I asked him if he's gonna document.
I did my last 3 preps.
And he looked nutty. So I just asked him if he's gonna document this one again, and he's like, I'm not sure. So go to his Instagram and tell him, just comment document it on his latest post. Document it.
Thanks, guys.
Get him to do it.
This is what dedication looks like.
My man's got the bag going. We've been here for a few hours for context. Been swimming, chilling, hanging out.
It's been a perfect day for it.
So what's this? This is meal number 2. You're doing a shake.
So we have
rice
50
cakes.
grams of ISO, and then I'll do 5 rice cakes on this one.
Hell yeah.
So this is our 3rd meal, and then we're not training today, but our pre-workout would be something similar to this.
I love seeing this shit now. After just doing a show, this makes my day.
I'm glad you understand.
12 weeks out. For context, here's where we've been chilling all day long. Ariana just ran off somewhere, but we've been laying here, jumping in the water, and repeating over and over again all day long. It's been fan-freaking-tastic. So you guys know my style. I love hardcore gyms with real shit in them. And I'm here with one of the only people my age range that I know that is as OG as me when it comes to bodybuilding and competing, Nick Panero.
What's going on, guys?
12 weeks out from his next show. First bodybuilding show in 3 years.
It's been a while. I feel like there's like just a lot of pressure on myself.
It'll be fun. It'll be good. It'll be a blast. I wish you still lived up here. He's visiting. He moved and he's visiting Rhode Island, so we have to catch a workout before he leaves. 12 weeks out. This is week 1 of prep for him. But I was going to say, what do you think of this gym? What's your first impression of this gym?
This is exactly like home for me. Equipment that's hand-picked for a reason. Like everything is in here for a reason. You have just solid leg pieces, back equipment, all the dumbbells, like up to 150s. You can't get that.
So badass. So if the hum of the AC is in this video audio, I apologize, but it's hot as shit in here. And Ultimate Fitness was kind enough to kill the music to let us do this talking point for you guys real quick. So without further ado, Nick Panero, 12 weeks out from your show.
Yes.
People are probably watching our arm workout now as they're listening to this. But obviously, you're a nationally qualified bodybuilder.
I have been, yes.
NPC Nationals, and that's a whole different level. I'm sure everyone knows. You need some extra enhancement to be competitive at that level, on top of genetics and work ethic. Now, I want to say first and foremost, people love throwing, second someone's on anything, like, oh, it's just drugs. I've known you forever. I've seen you do natural shows, non-natural shows. You have phenomenal shoulders, even naturally. You got great genetics, really. Nick looks freakier than I could ever look, even when he was natural. So don't think you can just jump on something and look amazing. It does take genetics, it does take work ethic, and you have crazy work ethic too. You're just like me when it comes to contest
prep.
prep.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
So my question to you and what everyone wants to know, what do you think the biggest difference is between doing a contest prep naturally, which you've done in OCB, versus
I've done both.
Yeah.
And that's huge, right? Because it's a huge misconception, or people who have never done both don't really know, because you can't, you know what I mean? You don't know.
Yeah, right.
So, but what I've noticed is basically, I mean, it's the same thing. When you're dieting, you're dieting. When it's tough, it's fucking hard.
Right.
The only difference is, I would say, is your ability to recover and your strength will stay.
Okay.
So I noticed when I was natural, like, you know, I would just, again, like hit a wall. I would completely die out, and especially on low food. Being on gear, this would allow me to definitely keep my weights up higher while still dieting on low food.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it, like, it doesn't make it easier. Like, me lifting 60s naturally felt just as hard as me lifting 90s not natural.
Right, right.
Like, it was still but it helped with that.
Right.
So with that being said, you're able to keep more muscle.
Would you say you can even gain muscle while being in deficit?
Yes. I think in the beginning of prep, when everything's perfect, right? Between that first, 6 to 8 weeks, maybe even longer depending on your genetics, right? You're gonna be able to put on tissue. If you're doing prep the way it should be done.
Right, because I've seen, and that's the other thing, people think you can jump on drugs.
There's two different ways. I mean, there's people who are structured militant, like every 2.5, 3 hours, you don't skip a fucking beat.
Yeah.
And there's people who are, every day is different. And I think those yield different results too.
Right, and would you agree that like the diet needs to be just as there as when you're natural? Because I think some people believe that you can just take all these drugs, cutting agents, and kind of coast. But I've seen a lot of people stack a lot of shit and still not make contest shape because their cardio wasn't up and their diet wasn't up.
A good example is that when I come off, or when anyone comes off who's been on for a while, if you keep your food the same and your training the same, the strength will be very minimal that you lose, and the size will be very minimal. Now, if you're off for a year, yes, you're gonna notice, but we're talking 6 months. So you're able to maintain it based off diet and training fucking hard.
Right.
Add drugs in 100% of the other two things,
Right.
Your recovery is crazy, is what it comes down to.
How do you feel, which one do you feel one is more healthy than the other? Because I feel like, my personal opinion is, I feel like both can backfire really. If you're natural, getting down to those low levels naturally, I mean, say goodbye to your hormones. But then on the other hand, when you're enhanced, your hormones might hold it better because you have the exogenous hormones, but at the same time, these guys end up abusing themselves, like liver, all of that, by the end of the show.
I think we're just starting to see it now.
Yeah.
I think we're just starting to see, like, 20 years ago, we didn't really have the research or basically the time of using these drugs yet to really pinpoint whether it was that or not.
Right.
And I think recently, in the past 5 to 8 years, we're starting to see, okay, maybe testosterone or maybe other things are having an effect more than we usually realize.
Right.
So I think that's hard to say. I think doing it naturally is going to be obviously healthier.
Yeah, in the long run,
because,
I think so.
in the long run, because I mean, even when you're getting down to low body fat levels, it's still not the same. When you're adding in 5, 6, 7, 8 compounds, at the end of a show, it can be a lot.
Okay, and 2 more questions, both kind of tie in. One, the duration. Do you think you can cut? Because a lot of guys that are like at that NPC level, you'll see them do 12-week cuts. Yeah. Whereas on the natural side, you see a lot of 16 to 25-week cuts. Do you? I think most of that's obviously because when you're natural, you have to do it extra slow to maintain any size. Do you think you can
cut faster on gear, or is it just simply you can afford to cut faster and harder because you can maintain more muscle and not lose it?
You're able to push on the pedal a little bit more while maintaining more muscle. But I think at the end of the day, it's genetics, right? Like when I was natural, I would prep for a show 12 weeks out. When I was enhanced, 12 weeks out. My body responds well when it's structured, you know what I mean? But I think that's just gonna depend on the person.
Cool.
A lot of times.
And speaking of the cutting, how effective do you think the cutting agents are? Because again, another misconception you hear all the time is these guys don't do any work. They literally just eat the same. They throw in like TC Clen, T3 Clen, like all these cutting agents, and that does the job for them. How effective are those cutting agents actually?
I've never had to use a lot of them. I used Clen in the beginning of my contest prep. I've dabbled with a little T3, not advised by a coach. It was just more so self-tap, like thinking you're not lean enough and adding it in type of deal. But I've never utilized it. I've never needed it. If you're busting your ass in the gym, you're not cheating on your diet, you're doing your cardio like you're supposed to. You know what I mean? Sometimes the last 3 to 4 weeks, if you're having stubborn areas,
if you're already really low,
and you've exhausted all other options, right? Like you don't want to start pulling 3 things at once, you know, you start adding things that, you know. So if you're really 3 or 4 weeks out and you're really having trouble to lose 4 or 5 more pounds of tissue, of fat, you add in Clen, or you can up the T3 and stuff like that. But some people run it throughout too. Some people need it.
Do you think it makes a huge difference? Like, do you think it makes it, you start taking Clen, for example, it's a popular one, and then just you instantly see a difference in fat dropping, or do you think it's more just like icing on the cake, or do you think it's totally different for everybody?
See, I don't get that feeling with a lot of drugs anymore. But I definitely, I mean, I notice Clen. I notice Clen, and you should notice Clen. You start to sweat.
Notice the side effects.
You notice the side effects of Clen. But within a couple weeks of Clen in a good diet, it's tough to say, right? Because usually when you're taking Clen, your diet's on point and your training's on point.
And usually it's when you're deep into the diet,
when you're deep into the diet. So you add that in, you start to elicit some changes. Maybe it is that. So it could be, I think it's a combination again.
Interesting, man. And again, I really want to reiterate this because this is so important to realize is like what I can back Nick on what he said. I watched him come off of everything kind of recently, and he still looked like he was on. I mean, his strength was there, he looked full, everything was rounded out. So I can't stress that enough, man. If you just don't have, if you have shit genetics and you try to jump on thinking you're going to become Mr. Olympia, you're going to be disappointed. But B, if you jump on, yes, this stuff's anabolic. It's going to help grow tissue no matter what. You can be a slop and take it and you'll get a little bit, but if you're trying to like achieve a dream physique, diet and training has to be in 1,000%.
I mean, I've seen people, and I'm sure everyone's heard this, but I've seen people taking gear and you ask them, and you would never be able to tell in a million years.
Oh yeah.
You know, and the stacks that they tell, especially the younger generation, the younger kids, and I'm not old by any means, but you know, I'm talking like 20s.
Yeah, right.
But it all starts with busting your ass, you know. I was very fortunate because the people who taught me when I was 16, when I was young, it was just all about training. It was in a gym like this. The garages were open, and it was like, come on, keep on going.
Right.
And that, like, I think when you learn something for the first time, and that's how you're taught, it stays with you.
Hell yeah.
You know, but if you're taught like drugs are the secret, you're not thinking work.
Especially in the age of social media.
It's all blasted on there, man.
Yeah, it's all you see. Just take drugs, take the easy way.
It's popular, right? It's fun to talk about.
Where can people follow you, Nick?
I have an Instagram, Nick Panero 92. I also have a YouTube channel. I've actually, I've filmed every prep so far, so I'm thinking I'm gonna film this one too. I think I might film it and then post it up after, so I can get all the footage down.
That's a good idea. His documenting during a prep can be tough.
I try and make it, I try and make it pretty personal, but your mind can go during prep too, so. You know, you can be really in good mood 8 weeks out and really moody in 4 weeks out.
Right. Either way, follow him on Instagram and YouTube. Both are in the info box below. Leave him a comment, encourage him to document more along his prep.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Give it a video a thumbs up.